Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to What's the 411 News.
An 8.
All right. So, yeah, we're going to get into it. I've been pushing this off a couple of days from the original date, but we are live now. And we're going to get into this right quick. I'm looking at something real quick. Let me just make sure everything is on the up and up as we rock this out. Just make sure. All right. So, yeah, we good. So, yeah, let's get into this, man. Let's get into this. All right. Some of you know, some of you don't know that there's been some things going on. And with inventors, inventors of now, you know what I mean? And you're looking at one young inventor on the screen right now. All right. And I'm also want to show you something else as well, before we start getting deep into it. But there is a thing where I guess if black minds start getting into some things. It was another video I could have showed, but I don't have it right now. But when some black minds start getting into some things that could impact the world, then that's when you'll start having suspicious things happening. People want to peek and look at what you're doing. And it always seems like, or a lot of times, because this happened to some other people that were not black, but it seemed like when black people start doing certain things, then they have people kind of eyeing you and watching you. And one in particular is this gentleman here. All right, Julian Brown. I think his mom calls him Julian Alexander. That's something for them to deal with on that one. But I know him as Julian Brown. I don't know him personally, but as far as his name goes, I know him as Julian Brown, right? And for those who don't know, this brother has an invention. He created some things that can operate vehicles outside of your normal gas and your electric. And we're going to try to pull up a video here. We're going to pull up several videos, but we're going to start off with one of them. And let's pull this one up and see. Hopefully this will pop up, because now these things are disappearing off my screen, which is weird. Always when you try to go live, the weird stuff start happening depending on what I show or what anybody shows. We all know that. But let's take a look at this video real quick. If it'll be nice enough to pop up. Let's try it again here. Yeah, this is weird. Okay, this is what we're going to have to do then. We will have to pull these things up one by one again. See what I'm saying? Let's do this here. We'll just start moving them out. Let's move these out and we'll put them back up here. But since we're gonna redo that, before I put them back in, I'm going to give you another example. All right, I'm gonna give you another example. Let's pull this up. Some of y'all remember that's our old design right there, our old colors there. What's the 411 News? And we did a report on this gentleman right here. For those who don't know who this gentleman is, you remember the shooting that took place in Buffalo, New York, the Tops supermarket. This was the security guard who was I think the first or close to the first who was shot and neutralized right off the bat. And there's something very suspicious about what took place with that. That people are not really connecting the dots. I haven't heard anybody connect the dots, but we connected the dots here. This gentleman here was the police officer. He was a retired police officer for that Buffalo Police Department. And when he retired, he still did security work, and he was the security guard at the Tops supermarket. And like I said, he was probably the first one killed or the second one, but he was the one that came out there to try to. He might even shot at the guy trying to shoot. I think it was, who's that? Peyton Gendron, I think. He was the one to try to shoot back at him, but he didn't survive. He got neutralized, unfortunately. Well, he had an invention as well. All right. This man had an invention as well that has something to do with vehicles. He had an invention to make vehicles run on water. All right. So I'm just connecting some dots here. Like I said, I haven't heard anybody else connect the dots like we have, but it's very highly suspicious that I think it was Peyton Gendron, if I'm not mistaken, because so many of these white guys doing these shootings like this, these mass shootings. It's very interesting how before the shooting took place, he's gone and searched out and scoped out the place. And then there's also some information that came out and nothing else was spoken about it, that an FBI or retired FBI agent might have known that this shooting was going to take place and didn't say anything. And that was supposedly being investigated, but nothing else came of it. There was nothing came back about what the results was, what was found, who this retired FBI person was. And supposedly this guy was, this FBI guy was on, what do you call that? It's on the tip of my tongue. There's a Discord, I think, or something to that effect, where he was talking with some other, they said like maybe 15 or 16 other people. And apparently some information came out that this shooting was going to take place. Maybe it was like 30 minutes before it happened at the Tops supermarket. And the guy who did the shooting, which I think is Peyton Gendron, if I'm not mistaken, y'all correct me on that. We do so many news reports. Like I said, so many people who are doing so many shootings, these school shootings and mass shootings and all of that, that he scoped out the place maybe a week before or a few days before. And it's very suspicious that this gentleman creates an invention to power vehicles with water, and then he gets taken out and is made to look like this racist young white man comes into the supermarket and shoots all these black people up, including the guy who was coming up with the invention to power up vehicles with water. All right. And nothing ever gets mentioned about he was the person that got shot, which was the retired police officer. And the retired police officer was also the security guard at Tops. And the retired police officer was also the gentleman who was creating an invention to power vehicles with water. And he gets taken out under the guise of, this racist guy with a manifesto, and decide he was going to kill all the black people and let all the white people survive. And he happens to kill the first one to be killed, the one who had the invention going. All right. So I'm going to go into this just a little bit, and then we'll get into the next black gentleman that definitely needs to be protected, but we're going to show you some stuff about that as well. So let me see if I can fast forward here. Come on now. Don't play games with me. All right, there we go. Let's see here. All right, so I'm gonna put it up to right about where you can see what he was doing with his invention. All right, so y'all can check it out. Again, it's there you have it right there. Ex-cop killed by Buffalo shooter. Yeah. Had just invented a water-powered car. Connect the dots on that one. That's how coincidental was that to kill a black police officer who also was inventing a water-powered car. And just before I get into this, there was also a white man who was going to do the same thing, maybe different ways of doing it, but that white guy was at a restaurant, to my understanding, from what I understand about it, and he was sitting down with his brother. All of a sudden, his mouth started foaming, and he died. So, what is it about people who want to make inventions that will help, or alternatives to gasoline and electricity? Why is it why do these people who try to make alternatives to power their vehicles up outside of electricity and outside of gas end up getting taken out? All right, so let me show you this one real quick, then we'll get into the next gentleman. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this video.
Okay. Let's see all of this. You got your hydrogen for your electrolysis. You got your batteries, your water. I want you to notice that you can get a shot of the showers. There's no water in the watch yourself. Okay. Tank is empty. All right, let me put this back on. We're gonna need water in a minute. This is a agitator. So we're gonna do 4 experiments today for the patent examiners. The first one, you do need electrolysis, but what my system has done is taken advantage.
Just so you know, that is the police officer, the retired police officer who was at the Tops restaurant trying to shoot back at the killer, and he ends up getting killed. All right. And yet he was the one creating this invention to power vehicles with water. Again, how coincidental is that? Right? What a coincidence that he's the first one to get taken out. Was that really? I pose this question again like we posed it a couple of years ago. Was he the real target, and the other people were just like the casualties, disposable, and to make it all look like it was just a racial thing? But was he really the real target all along? Like I said, the guy went around first, scoped out the place a few days before, or a week before, to find out, when is this guy coming? Who's the security here? Did he already know? Was he mind controlled into knowing that was the real target? But also there was black people there along at that day when it happened as well. And still, like I said, there's a retired FBI employee, if you will, that supposedly knew this was going to happen, and nothing is being said about it. Okay, let's get back into it.
You can get a shot of the showers. There's no water in the watch yourself. Okay, tank is empty. All right, let me put this back on. We're gonna need water in a minute. This is a agitator. So we're gonna do 4 experiments today for the patent examiners. The first one, you do need electrolysis, but what my system has done is taken advantage of the residue that's produced by the electrolysis. So we're gonna actually start this vehicle without any electrolysis. The second one, we're going to fill the water tank with water. And again, we're going to be able to start it without electrolysis and run this engine.
All right, so that was just the quick video. I did not find this on Facebook. I didn't search for it on Facebook. I found it from a different source. All right, so he was experimenting with that, right? Wasn't too much to show there, but he was showing the different parts of it, and he mentioned that he was going to do a test either that day or the next day for the patent people, so he can have a patent for it. And he also mentioned how he's going to start it up first with the electrolysis, as he mentioned, with the electricity and stuff like that. Then he's going to switch it over and just run it with the water. I think for 2 different tries, he's going to run it with the water. But you didn't get to see that because that was the only video we were able to find about him at least explaining that, right? And so here we get with this gentleman here that you see on the screen. I'm going to try to pull all these videos up. Okay, let me see which ones do I need to pull up here. We'll pull up this one first. Okay, then we're going to pull up the next one. And so it's the same similar situation with this young brother right here. He has an invention dealing with vehicles as well. And he's been getting what appears to be is getting targeted. Now, most definitely, we don't want him to get targeted and taken out. Just like, unfortunately, like the officer there. I think his last name was Sawyer, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on that one. As we go ahead and get these videos pulled up so you can be able to see what's going on here. And let me see. I think I got that one. Let's get this one up. And now we have, again, a similar situation. So my thing is, what is really going on with whomever is responsible for trying to target anyone who tries to do anything regarding vehicles outside of gas and, Elon's getting a pass with the electric vehicles, and that's something to even think about. That's an alternative to gasoline. We all know that these other countries have been bombed and taken out. Let me see, I might double do that. And it's always been seeming to be because of oil regarding gasoline. So gasoline apparently is gold, right? To somebody, because they keep wanting to take, you know, it's kind of funny that coincidentally people are getting taken out when they try to find alternative sources to operate to make your vehicle run, right? It's quite interesting how that works. Let me see here. Some of these I might be loading these things up twice, but we'll figure it out here in a sec. So isn't it coincidental how people get taken out if you have an idea of, hey, I got an idea, another way to operate a vehicle, and it'll be less expensive on your pockets to use. And all of a sudden, you don't hear about him in person no more, or something bad happened to him. Okay, that looks like it's a repeat. No problem. You know what I'm saying? So how interesting how that works. You know what I'm saying? Let me see here. That looks the same. And that, oh, there's two of those. Okay, let's get rid of one. So let's take a look at a couple of videos here before we get to what's really going down. This brother here has made, outside of an invention to power up your vehicle, outside of using gas and electric, he also has something else. And we're going to show you that right now. All right.
I'm sacrificing my beautiful mother to the Illuminati, aka the mosquitoes, the mosquito-nati. But I'm giving her this Zaparoma, my all-natural mosquito repellent. So you are subject to a test.
All right, let's see
your
how
life.
this works. Only because I trust you.
What do you think about it?
The packaging is lovely. Let's see the smell. It smells wonderful.
Yeah? It doesn't smell like a bug repellent, like chemically?
It doesn't. No.
Well, okay.
Let's see how it feels.
Yeah. So it's like a body butter.
It does. It's just like a body butter, like your other products. And it feels good.
Excellent. And so what has your experience been in your life with mosquitoes?
I am a mosquito magnet. I even contracted chikungunya years ago from a mosquito bite. So yeah, I'm definitely mosquito bite prone. So this, I appreciate my son. You made for me.
Yes, yes. So you guys see I'm sacrificing her because she could get diseases from this. So we're going to see if it really works. All right, so you guys just want to make sure you apply this to every surface of your body because the mosquitoes will go where it's not applied. So there you go. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. All right, so my mom is going into the worst spot in this entire backyard where the mosquitoes are.
So far, they're staying away completely.
You don't even see any.
I don't even see any.
And they are back here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Look.
Yep, there's one.
So they're coming for me.
Okay.
They're not going to. Why are they ignoring her? Look at all this fresh meat right here. Why are they coming to me? Ow. Why are they coming over here to me? Get my mom.
This is amazing. This never happens. I am truly a magnet. Anytime I come outside, they swarm me.
Oh, look. I see them behind you. I see them behind you trying to get you. Wow. They're trying. They're trying.
I see one.
Yeah, they're not landing on you though. Look,
not landing.
Mosquitoes, you guys have all of this surface area. Why are you flying above her? They're like trying to find the best angle of attack. But they're
not getting me.
I gotta get it.
That's pretty amazing.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Okay, I can see them all.
I see a big one there.
Yep. They're around here. They're just like, dang it, we can't get. Oh, there's one down here by your leg that's trying. Let's see. Nope, it is not landing. My mom is not being sacrificed to the Illuminati today. Thanks to the Zaparoma shield. Zaparoma, get you some Zaparoma, Zaparoma.com.
I'm proud of you, son.
And thank you, Mom. I love you.
I love you too.
Are you worried at all?
Just a little bit, because I don't like mosquito bites. But I'm confident in you. Okay. You are an amazing innovator.
Thank you. Well, there you go. And now you can keep that. So you'll have your own mosquito repellent.
All righty, there you go. There you go. So that was one of his inventions. Now, there's where I'm going to show you the next invention here. Let me make sure here. There was one he was kind of out and about. Let's pull this one up and see if this is the other one here. I'll tell you what, let's pull this video up right here.
So I've created my own gas station that makes fuel from plastic waste. Let's go. So this is plastic crude oil. And as you can see, we have quite a bit of this plastic crude oil. Well, it can be fuel, but we need to refine it and clean it up. So let's do it.
All right, so he makes oil, gasoline out of plastic waste. All right, and let's see if we can pull this next video up here.
Here, I have Plastidiezel. Yeah. A diesel alternative I made from plastic waste. And what we have beside me here, we have two Ford 1997 F-250 Power Stroke 7.3s. And we're going to put my Plastidiezel diesel alternative made from plastic waste inside of the first ever F-250 to run off of plastic waste in Chicago, baby. Yeah. Side comparison to see how real diesel does versus my diesel inside of this truck. So Tony, let's go ahead and get this diesel in here. Shot myself.
I got it. Tell us what he's doing.
All right. Plastidiezel is inside of the pail, and we're gonna hook up the fuel hose to it.
She ran the diesel or the truck out of diesel.
Yes, correct? It's out of diesel. It's gonna take a minute to start.
All right, everybody, make our way back to the front. If you want to support my mission to take sunlight and turn sunlight into fuel made from plastic waste, you can go to my GoFundMe here. We're looking to raise $16,000 to get all the solar equipment I need. All right, is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Hey, look, you can go to my GoFundMe here.
Now, I don't know if his GoFundMe is still up. Y'all might want to research that. And if y'all want to support that, taking sunlight supports solar powered plastic to fuel invention. So somehow he's taking the sunlight, taking the plastic, and somehow the way he's doing it, help me turn plastic into fuel with the sunlight. So however he's in his mind put all this together, which says a lot about the ideas you can come up with. Everybody has them in here, but a lot of people don't want to pull it out. And people are struggling. But on the other flip side of that, depending on who you are, compare him to Elon. Why are they not taking Elon out for making electric cars? Maybe because they can control the money they supply him. Maybe because he doesn't have he has the complexion for the protection, if you will, right? You know, why they mess with others who have other ideas? I always thought, because I had this conversation with people before, that's what it's all about with the U.S. You start coming up with inventions. As Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, we came up with loads of inventions. down the years. And so I thought it was all about always trying to innovate something so you can always keep ahead of what everybody else is doing, other countries and stuff like that. But it seems like it's only if you're dabbling into certain things they don't want you to dabble in, because then you're messing up their money system and their money source. But outside of that, it's cool stuff they not really fooling with. But when you fooling with the gasoline, and like I said, it's weird because why isn't Elon getting touched? He's messing with electric. Maybe because they can control the electricity. Who knows? It seems like it's all about control. If there's something they can't control, and this guy becomes a trillionaire off his invention, then it's like, uh-oh, that's a threat. But it's supposed to be about innovation. People are supposed to come up with things to make life better, situations better, your pocket better. But for some reason, that's something in itself to really think about, how they really see the average folks. They don't want certain things to go down and take place because they got to keep certain people in a certain mindset. You got to keep people in a certain level of finances and financials. But it also goes to show on the flip side how the power of your mind can bring you out of a lot of bad situations. So it goes both ways. So let's continue with this.
We're looking to raise $16,000 to get all the solar equipment I need. All right, is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Hey, look, I gotta ask. Do you guys think it's gonna run?
Yeah. We know it's gonna run.
All right, Cody, hit it.
You gotta get in the system first.
Yeah. Give it a minute.
You gotta get in the engine.
We're doing it. History
right here, the first ever Ford F-250 to run off of plastic waste right here in Chicago, Illinois, baby. Right here. We're gonna see the comparison on how the engines sound, how they run. This
doesn't sound strong to me.
Bro.
This one about
All right, you got a little taste of how the plastic gasoline, how to get, he had to work it in the system of the vehicle first, the diesel plastic gasoline, get it in the system. Then when you started hearing it run, the engine sound way better than the actual diesel fuel that was in the other truck. You got a little glimpse of that, right? So that's what the problem is. This guy's came up with an alternative gasoline source that you can make out of plastic, with all the plastic that's around this place, around the earth, that's sitting out. Sometimes they're in the water, killing the fish. You could take and gather all that plastic up. If he had all the finances to really build a bigger machine to process all that plastic, and like he said, somehow he's taking the sunlight as well. Maybe it's the solar power to grab the power to power up his plant to turn that plastic into gasoline. Maybe that's how he's doing it. But that's what the real problem is. And so let's look at another video, a couple of other videos here. Let me see. I think we played that one already. Let's play one or two more before we get into the other couple of videos. All right. So so far we know he has a kind of body butter type of mosquito repellent, and I think that was Jabberoma.com. I don't know if those websites still exist. And then you have naturejab.com/solar. That's probably the other website for the gasoline, or that's the link to his GoFundMe, but don't know. So you might want to check those out and see what you pull up. All right. Now let me see. Let's pull up this video right quick.
I've created my own gas station that makes fuel from plastic waste. Let's go.
All right, I think we've seen that one already. Let me see what this one is here.
That I was not injured in any way during this, because this was one of the most dangerous things I've ever done. And that says a lot, considering this, you know, that over there, that distiller, that's the same one that blew up on me, you know, that led to this. So yeah. All right, everybody. Today, I'm going to be doing probably one of the most dangerous things I've ever done in my entire life. You see these humongous pipes down here, where they're going to have to go on the top of this machine. There's so many reasons why this is dangerous, and like I said, that's why I'm live streaming. Just like the diagrams, the schematics I showed online all those times ago, it was like a few months ago, we need these on top. So
Like he's going into the wee hours of the night getting it together.
I've done it. Ladies and gentlemen, the hoist system is held up. Winch has done it. There it is. It's up. Unfortunately, my bolts are too small. These are 3/4 of an inch. I need to get 7/8 of an inch bolts to be able to have enough torquing capability to close this gap and seal the face. And so unfortunately, I cannot complete it. But it was very, very, very scary to do this. Very much a fight. The hoist system held up great. This winch held up amazing. The wood all looks fine. The blades loaded inside this top chamber. I need to go ahead and put the rest of the plumbing pipes the top of all of these fittings. I also need to go ahead and complete my general pipes for the reactor. I need to set up the high pressure lines, which will go into these tanks over here to store the plastic made natural gas. I've been having an issue, unfortunately. I bought a vacuum pump, oilless vacuum pump, and it's been defective. So I've been going back and forth with the manufacturer to get a replacement. Who knows when that's going to come? So that's going to suck to get the machine under vacuum with this tiny one for now. Get all of this under vacuum and this big chamber. But yeah, and then I also have to do more electrical work and pneumatic air work to get this big valve plumbed in. And then there's another valve up here that's going to be the same. I have to do that, you know, hook it up with the relays. Oh yeah, I had a small electrical fire that happened here. I fixed that, don't worry.
All right, so you got that. He's putting things together, man. And let me see. We're going to go into the video that people were really, some people, I guess, were getting scared and stuff like that. And things were even bothering him a little bit as well. So we're going to go ahead and pull that video up right quick.
I can't go into too much detail, but there is some very, very odd stuff going on. I'm certainly under attack right now in many different ways, and I just want everybody to know to just kind of have your eyes open. And I have my eyes open, but there's a lot going on. So I'm still working. I'm still building. Nothing's gonna stop that. But I'm just telling you guys right now, be on the lookout, because I'm under attack.
All right, so he made that short video saying he's under attack. You know, he starts coming out with these inventions, or this invention regarding creating taking plastic waste, turning it into fuel for vehicles to run. And those who are in the oil industry, they're like, wait a minute. We're going to have to send somebody out there to see him, because it's going to, if this guy gets his stuff together, it might mess up our money. So like you heard him say, he was under attack, and things are funny things are going on. And I'm going to play the videos where he explains him and his mom, or his mom more or less. Let me see if there should be another video here. Yeah, but I would say this, because this is a learning moment as well, is that when you do things like this, you have these ideas, you have inventions, or even just your goals sometimes. And I'm sure this probably was one of his goals. Who knows? And you got to be careful about what you show, who you show it to. It's going to be kind of hard about who you show it to, per se. You definitely want to have your stuff together a lot of times before you announce it, because if you're still working on certain things and you feeling real happy, I'm sure, of course, he was happy about what he's doing. He's making progress. Like, yo, I figured out the way how to take this plastic, turn it into gasoline. I'm going to go to Chicago right quick, and I'm going to do a demonstration for some of the people in the neighborhood. I'm going to make some of this diesel fuel. I'm going to compare two vehicles and run them both, run one with the diesel fuel that we all know about, and I'm going to take the other, my version of my plastic diesel fuel, run it into this truck, and we're going to run it and see if it works, compare the two. And then he's also creating his gasoline. I'm sure he's done videos showing you his processes. And that's something that's just very, I don't know if you say dangerous, could be dangerous, but not as wise to do. You want to kind of keep that on the hush, work your stuff out, experiment, get all that stuff done, keep experimenting until you find that you have something, a working product. And then you can go ahead and maybe start showing it off and start showing demonstrations and things like that. But even with that, it runs the risk of, like I said, you have these oil companies is probably their representatives or whoever is watching, and they're looking like, no, we're not going to let this young black boy take our money. So we're going to start sending people after him. Right. And another person also we have is Moses West. Moses West can take water from the air and make fresh, clean water. Now this is what's wild about this. And people were asking the question about where's Moses West at lately, because they was asking, it seemed like that Julian Brown, the one you're seeing on the screen now, had disappeared for a while. And people were concerned that after he made this video that you're looking at, that he was saying like things are going on, funny stuff is going on. All of a sudden he disappeared for a little bit. And people were concerned that, they must have got at him. And the same thing people were saying about Moses West, that people are not seeing him lately. But he created taking the go outside and take the air, the moisture from the air, and put it in a machine and pump out fresh water. A black man. I already showed you the black man that was at the Tops. I keep wanting to say restaurant, but the supermarket. The retired police officer. He created an invention to make the car or vehicles run with water, and all of a sudden, he's part of the top shooting. He tries to shoot back at the, I think it was Gendron, and he didn't make it. But he was also the inventor of powering up vehicles with water. Real big coincidence. Now, this gentleman here, young brother, all of a sudden people starting to mess with him. Then you got Moses West with the water invention, creating water out the air, taking the moisture and turning it into fresh water. People are wondering where he's at now. For some reason, when it comes to certain people and they don't have control of what you're doing, they always want to seem to try to get rid of you or damage the stuff that you use to create this stuff. Sabotage it, if you will. And that, I think that actually happened one time with one of Moses West's machines. I think early on when he was getting started putting it together, some people figured out how to sabotage his machines. So it's always seemed to be a thing when somebody black try to do something. Although I did say earlier that there was a white man also trying to, I think he had an invention that was a different approach to it, to try to take water and power up vehicles too. And he sat in front of his brother at a restaurant. All of a sudden, his mouth started foaming and he died in front of his brother at the restaurant. That was a white guy. Allegedly, that happened to him and he died. So it's a thing where someone is sending a message that you can make whatever you want, but you can't make nothing that's going to change. It's going to be outside of gas. And it seemed like electric because, like I said, Elon ain't got touched. Why is that? All right. So let's pull this video up here. Let's see if this is, I think this is the mosquito.
I'm sacrificing my beautiful mother.
Yeah, we just showed you that. So let's go on and pull this one up. All right, let's pull it up.
Tell those hackers I'm back.
No, you better not say that, boy.
Oh.
Hey guys, I am here with Nature Jab. I'm Nia Brown, and I want to extend warm greetings to you on behalf of my husband and our entire family. We are so very thankful for you, and I want to speak to you from my heart as a mother. Thank you abundantly for the outpouring of support and concern that you had for our son. And I say our son because I know to the world he is Nature Jab, but to me, he's my son. He's Julian Alexander. And you are an amazing tribe of supporters. When you thought he was missing, the support that you gave was just phenomenal. It really blew my mind. But because we saw without any doubt, you made it abundantly clear that Julian is important to you. As a family, we think it's important that you understand what happened. First of all, Julian was never missing. He was not suicidal. He was not in some institution or so many of the other things that we have heard. But here is the truth. Julian has received terroristic death threats, cryptic threats. He has received hacking in ways that have just been incredible without any doubt.
All right. Terroristic threats, hacking. So they're really trying to send him a message. We're going to play here again, but they're really trying to send him a message. I just want people to see this, what's going down. Number one, so he can be protected. All right. And then the next thing is to show you, because if any others come up, we're going to be letting you see and know what's going on as well. When there's certain people and certain inventions you want to come up with, they always want to start messing with you. Right?
You made it abundantly clear that Julian is important to you. As a family, we think it's important that you understand what happened. First of all, Julian was never missing. He was not suicidal. He was not in some institution or so many of the other things that we have heard. But here is the truth. Julian has received terroristic death threats, cryptic threats. He has received hacking in ways that have just been incredibly insane. People who are obsessed with him, who hate him, who ultimately want to distract him from his purpose and his mission and to destroy him. But I tell you what, when we consulted his cybersecurity team and our team of advisors for security, they all gave him the same advice. Stand down, lay low, and do not post anything to any platform at all. And that's what we did. And then Meta gave the same advice. They urged him not to post anything because ultimately they wanted to investigate what was happening. Moving forward, what Jab realized is it would be a great idea to make sure you can stay connected to him, because in that space, it really troubled him that he could not tell you himself that he was safe.
Right.
So that's the purpose of this page. It's a way for you to stay connected to us.
Yep.
Now, don't get it twisted. We know that the hackers and haters will still come to this page too. And that's why we need your help. If you see them post something inappropriate, suspicious, crazy, let us know. Take screenshots. We might need that for proof.
Evidence.
For not only this page, but Nature Jab.
Yes.
What's happened is they have unleashed Mama Bear. And I stand ready, as does all of my family, to protect Julian. And you've already demonstrated that you feel that way too. If you're a believer, keep praying. If you have gifts and talents and resources and skills that can help, let us know. Thank you, and God bless you all.
And this page is the official safe haven if anything happens to Nature Jab. So thank you guys so much.
All right, so there you have it, man. So he was getting hacked. He has a cybersecurity team. I don't know if I can't remember if she mentioned it here or there's another video, but also, you know, they told him for a little while to get off social media for a little minute and kind of disappear, if you will. And like he said, or like she said, and he agreed, you know, he wanted to come out and tell you, but for security purposes, you know, apparently they have some type of security team and they on it and told him like, hey, just disappear off of social media for a little bit. Yeah, people are going to think somebody snatched you up or something happened to you, but just chill for a minute. Let's strategize, and then we'll come back on at a later date. And they came back on. So for those who might have heard about this and still didn't know what the status was, his status is he's okay. He wasn't in no facility. Somebody didn't get him, and they got him, and now he won't have an invention. But like she said, you know, there's still going to be those people that come out. There's still going to be people that hack. I guess they probably mess with his website, I'm assuming. And if he's dealing with if he has a computer and has to put all his stuff in the computer and everything, then I'm sure people are trying to hack that as well. So I wanted to show you this to expose, to further stretch out. People don't believe these things happen. And we showing you these things go down. When there's certain people trying to come up with inventions, then all of a sudden, depending on what that invention is, even if it's something that really is not that wouldn't affect the big wigs' pockets, they still want to try to slow you down as much as possible. And in this case, you know, he has an alternative fuel source he's creating. And some people was like, no. You can't get too far with this, but he's still going to keep going, which is good. And he, like I said, he has a security team that's apparently seems to know what they're doing as far as giving him direction on, you know, how to move, when to move, and stuff like that. And so there you have it, ladies and gents. Let me know what you think about this one. Put it in the comments. Let us know how you feel about this. This is some serious stuff, man. And so if your children have inventions, and if they're children, be very mindful. Don't be fearful, because unfortunately, I'm talking to the Black family now. Some of y'all have the tendency to put your fears on your kids, and then it stifles their growth and development. You might have some geniuses in your family. Your children might be geniuses, and your fear is going to keep them from becoming great. Let's cut that nonsense out. Let's stop that right now. Cut the fear nonsense out, because you're slowing your kids down. You know, remember all the great inventors of old who made all these inventions that when you went to school, you read about them. They taught you a little bit in school about some of these Black inventors. I kind of envision a new set of these Black inventors popping out, old and young. But some of y'all with the fear in your hearts, a lot of times it be the women, unfortunately, the Black women. I'm just going to keep it a buck. Some of y'all, I ain't going to say everybody. Keep your fears suppressed so you don't suppress your kids. All I'm saying is think, be more mindful and strategic on how you move with things. You know, your child might I want to show them how to this, and it might not be the time to show. You might want to make sure it's perfected first, then you can show. And then when it's that time to show, you want to make sure maybe you need a little security somewhere. Maybe it's just He has a bunch of uncles or whatever, or some male friends in the neighborhood. You know, grown men, you might have friends, you know. Let them come out with them. So nobody tries to, you know, try to overpower the young one and whatever else could go on. But definitely let's stop this fear stuff about, because you're stunting a lot of children's growth. You have athletes, you have architects, you have inventors, you're being your children, and the fear is messing things up. Because if I'm not mistaken, you know, invention, you hear different little inventions pop up here and there. I notice a lot of China stuff pops up all the time. There's always some new product on the market, especially when you look at TikTok and all the new stuff that come up constantly. It's almost like somebody's sitting down with a group of people and they just sit down and think of different things to create and doing that. But for some reason, their minds are not being suppressed. So let's get out of the thing of suppressing these black kids' minds because you're so fear and scared. Oh, something might happen to them. Well, start using your mind and think on how you can protect them as they progress with their inventions and stop all this fear mess. Because that's the thing I've been noticing with people. Some people are so scared to do this. So I don't want my kid to do this because they scared. The kid ain't scared, but you scared and you suppressing them. Some of your children got some great minds and they're going to come up with some great ideas and you're going to suppress them out of fear. And it's going to be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years because of all this fear you're suppressing, and everybody else, other ethnicities are going to come up because they know, hey, I'm not going to make my kid be scared. I'm going to encourage them to keep going with these ideas. So let's stop that nonsense. Let's stop that right now. Put that fear in your pocket somewhere and wait till you can turn your head and go in the bathroom and then be scared by yourself and then come out and say, okay, let's go. Cut that nonsense out. But let us know what you think, man. Apparently he's being protected and he's getting some guidance and direction. And, you know, more power to him. Hope he continues. Hope he's allowed to continue. And like I said, this is also to expose some things. So when people, like I said, people will try to, oh, that's not true. That don't happen. Everybody is free to do this. Yeah, okay. You can bring it back here. You can bring them to this video and this news report and let them see. And like I said, we did a report on the officer that was in the Tops restaurant, the retired police officer, the black guy who had his invention of powering vehicles with water. This brother's making gasoline out of plastic. The other brother that got neutralized in the Tops restaurant, Tops supermarket in Buffalo, was coming up with a water-powered vehicle, taken out, coincidentally. So it's almost like you can have certain inventions, but other inventions you can't. I'm repeating this for a reason. I really want this to soak into a lot of folks' minds that see this. All right. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for coming in. Let us know what you think. Put it in the comments. This is What's the 411 News. And we out. Peace. Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it.